Okay, so we talked about kind of the nerve compressive neuropathies, nerve injuries that can happen. And so this is very brief, but just to kind of go through the route of the nerves for your viewers. And so if we look at your neck, we want to say maybe you have some neck stiffness, maybe not, but we look and see, and we say this side it goes, I'm going to take it less. Let's say it only goes to 30 degrees horizontal rotation, whereas this side goes farther. Then we say, oh, maybe there's some asymmetry there. Any tightness and asymmetry in the neck can actually cause pinching of those nerves coming out of your neck and give a lot of neck pain, but also pain down there. You can go ahead and extend your neck that way. That's great. And then chin to your chest. So I want to just basically look at that. The last one of that is just horizontal rotation that way and that way. And that gives me a sense of maybe there's a component of that. Then, we send patients to neurologists to look at the nerves, the function. They do two kinds of testings, an electromyography, and then they do nerve conduction. But we can do a poor man's test quite well, poor man's neurologic exam, just like this. So we know the nerves come out of the neck. They go through between the anterior and middle scalene muscles, these secondary respiratory muscles that are up here, and they pass us through there. And if I roll through there and you have a disc, you will say, ooh, that's going down to my left arm, my right arm, both arms. So it's a real easy palpation of those irritated nerves. Then we look at that. They're coming under the collarbone. They're coming down through deep to your pectoralis here and then coming in through the axilla. The next place I can get access to those nerves is here medially. We know the ulnar and median nerve the radial nerve comes over here, but the ulnar and median nerves right here. So I'll palpate right up against your bone and see, and that too, oh yeah, that's definitely giving me stuff here. If you tell me that is giving you numbness and tingling to there or to your thumb, then when I get down here, I know that it's not just carpal tunnel or cubital tunnel. I know it's got to be some component coming from your neck. It's a very simple, easy way. Anything above the elbow is irritated from up here. Anything below it could be both. And we almost never, from your neck, we almost never just see a pure ulnar neuropathy just coming from your neck. Usually there's something else, like a little radial nerve, a little medial nerve, something else. So then we come down to your ulnar nerve. Let's use this elbow because it's better. So I've already checked your motion, and then I feel your nerve in the groove there, the funny bone nerve, and yours is, as we said, pretty mobile. I can kind of pull it up over the edge, but it's not bad. Now I would tap on that lightly and see, does that cause electrical shocks? And does that give you, ooh, I don't like that. Now a lot of us can have a little irritation, so we want to compare and see what you have. Secondly, I want to flex up and see what that nerve does. Now you have a very well-developed triceps. I have seen people who are super avid and that have these huge triceps, and throwing athletes as well, where they are pressing, their triceps is overdeveloped here and it's pressing up against the nerve. So it's a different form of cubital tunnel syndrome. It's not really in the cubital tunnel, but I've seen that a lot in athletes. This ulnar nerve, I want to test and see what it's doing. If you're a throwing athlete and your nerve slips back and forth, you can get snapping nerve and it's really irritable. You can no longer feel the seams of your on your slider or your fastball, and so that often needs surgery, and even the weakness of grip. Now we come down here and then I can press on that, I can flex it up and hold it. And if that starts to cause numbness and tingling in your hand, then that's a secondary. You will have already probably told me, yeah, I get this, I wake up with my hand, ulnar nerve quite numb. And we all tend to start out this way and end up this way. And the only problem there is that that can happen to any of us, but if it's regular and frequent and lingering, or if we get it when we're typing or playing a piccolo or a cello, then that's a different issue, and we need to look further. Lastly, coming down the form, there's two more nerves that we can look at. The ulnar nerve rarely is involved down here. It's almost always 98% of the time at the elbow. The radial nerve comes out from under here. It's just the sensory terminal branch of the radial nerve that does so much good work for extending our wrist and our triceps and everything. And it goes down to here and provides sensation in this part of the hand. And we can tap on that and come down, and then it will give electrical shocks down here. It can be very nerve-wracking. I've seen a lot of musicians with that. You have a loose wristband on now. Some people wear heavy watches, heavy bracelets, and you can get that. Or if you've been arrested and they put the handcuffs too tight, you haven't been arrested recently.
Not recently.
Not recently, okay. And And so that will cause a lot of numbness there, really aggravating. So we look for that. And then the last one is the median nerve, which is here. This is the carpal tunnel. Now, the most sensitive and specific test for carpal tunnel syndrome is just to put thumb pressure directly over that transverse carpal ligament. I'm effectively doing what you're doing when you're driving or maybe riding a cycling. I'm putting extra pressure, and you're going to tell me if that causes numbness, tingling, pain sometimes, but mainly numbness and tingling in the median nerve distribution, that thumb, index, middle, and half the ring finger. And if it does, then that's golden. We know you have carpal tunnel syndrome. And then the others that we look for are these Tunnell signs. I'll go along here and tap. And the nerve, if you have bad carpal tunnel, that median nerve can be irritable as it's lying in between these muscle bellies. And so we can tap along there, and you get a Tunnell sign. It goes, ooh, and it sends electrical shocks. That's the second way we can test it. The third way is just to have you mimic what you would do, and the Phelan's test, where you hold them down like that, and that reproduces as well. The most sensitive and specific is the one I already did, but those are other. And that's pretty much it for there's one other component is we always want to look. If you have winging of the scapula, you can do a push-up against a wall. We can see if one side sticks out, and that's that upper cervical nerve right, the long thoracic nerve. And that's really about it.